Welcome back on the AM show, and at this juncture we talk, well, the alarming state of insecurity in our country, Ghana. And we're joined by our guests. One of them has a 25-year career in policing. He's a former executive secretary to the IGP, former senior investigations advisor to the African Union mission in Darfur, Sudan. He's a former superintendent of police, retired, of course. Peter Lanchene Toobu joins us. He also happens to be a member of parliament for Wa West. Also joining the conversation, we have Collins Owusu, former member of parliament for Manhyia North, a former vice chairperson of the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament. The two gentlemen join us for this discussion because you know where we've come as a country. I was sharing with you earlier in the day and with Lanchene a short while ago that yesterday, right down this lane, I was getting a bite and I was getting back into my car. I saw two motor riders heading towards me, so to speak. They sped past, but when I sat in my car and I was leaving, I just realized, hey, now when I see motorbikes coming in my direction, I get nervous. Question is why? Why should it be that way? We talk about insecurity in the country and what we can do about resolving the situation, because that's what we really need. Gentlemen, thank you for joining the conversation.
You're welcome. It's our pleasure.
But just to kickstart, just a quick one. Are you contesting for any
Well,
position
the
in the
KMA mayorship race, yes.
You're in the KMA leadership race?
No, mayorship.
Mayorship, okay.
Yes.
Right. How is that going?
Very positive.
Very positive?
Yes.
What's so positive about what has happened so far?
Well, I think my people have shown their support. And honestly speaking, people of Kumasi have been very, very supportive as far as my bid is concerned. When you see market queens coming out, assembly members throwing their support, it tells you one thing, that that sense of belongingness is there, and they see you to be someone who, having an encyclopedic view of the city, has what it takes to champion the cause of the people, and also to ensure that when you talk about League of Beautiful Cities in Africa, Kumasi, under my leadership, will be part.
Wow.
Yes.
I like what you said, encyclopedic
view, because I was born and bred in Kumasi.
Right.
So had my basic, secondary education before I proceeded to University of Ghana. So that's their boy. Okay.
All of these qualify you to be mayor of Kumasi?
Not really, because to be honest with you, I have the competency and the required skills to lead the metropolis. Mind you, because the KMA has responsibility to exercise the political, executive, and the administrative authority in the metropolis, and also to champion or promote the local economic development. And having worked with them, among all those aspiring, happen to be one who has had more time to deal with the assembly, because I was an ex-official member for 8 years, and then again I've been working with the assembly closely, because I established a sanitation management project, that is Clean City Initiative, and I was the executive director. And our job was to ensure that we sanitize the environment, and also to make sure that we ensure zero waste city. And over the years, I have demonstrated that. So they have seen my work. That's what I can say for now.
Okay, so finally, it's quite a group that you have to face for
We had the vetting at the regional level. The committee shortlisted 4 people to the national vetting committee, and strongly, I'm still among the 4.
You're still in the mix?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
We wish you the very best. Let's talk security matters, and thank you once more for joining us, gentlemen. I will just do this. I'm going to start with you, Peter Lanchene Toobu, and for very good reason. You have served with the Ghana Police Service for some 25 years. I want to start from the standpoint of your candid reactions and how worried you are about the current spate of attacks, and not just attacks on ordinary citizens, but now even attacks on police officers. And if I may, maybe I should just do this and break it down in terms of these bullion attacks in recent times, in recent years, and how many have occurred involving police officers between 2016 and now. So at least for some of those we've captured, you can look at 2016, 2 police officers killed in a bullion van near Mamikrobo in Kwewu, Afram Plains. That is in the eastern region. We have December 2019, bullion van attacked as Panacea, Dwaboso district. A policeman was killed there in the Ashanti region. September 2020, bullion van attacked in Mansumim in the Ashanti region. January 2021, so we've entered this year, armed robbers attack a bullion van in Sakumono, right here in the Greater Accra region. Go back to the Ashanti region, March 2021, a policeman was killed in a Danse, Nyankomesi, in a bullion van robbery. And then the latest one, Jamestown, a policeman brutally gunned down. The image it's haunting me. When I saw especially that image of his head, the cavity in there, just the entirety of the contents of his head turned into mush. It made my stomach churn, and I'm asking myself, how did we get here? What's your understanding, your appreciation of the entire situation right now, Lanchene?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Let me first of all say good morning to my dear friend, former MP. He's been on the committee that I'm serving now. I think he was deputy chair. He's one of the people that I look up to in terms of experience. And when I saw his name amongst the contestants for KMA position, I think if I was the president, I would just say, please go and sleep, you have the job. Unfortunately, I'm not in that position.
If you were president, yes, you would give him the job.
I'll give him the job.
Straight away.
Straight away, I'll give him the job. Because I've followed him for some time. And I think one thing I like about him is the fact that when it comes to matters of security, he knows what to put out there and what not to put out there. That is all about security. It's not everything that we put out on air. And as we sit today, I am very convinced that we are just talking about compartmentalization of information and trying to see what can we share to the public, what shouldn't be shared, but how do we contribute to ensure that Ghana's security is better than before. All the things that you've listed, my brother, let me say good morning to our cherished viewers. All the things that you've listed shows that the Jamestown incident was not an incident in isolation. These things have been happening since 2016. And all of us are in this country. When it happens, the reaction is the same. You see all kinds of big people rushing to the scene, visiting the families, and doing what is culturally acceptable. And after a week or two, the story dies down. So I've been looking at this situation, and I said, look, it is time for us to sit up as a country and move away from the level of hypocrisy. What is right, and what is wrong is wrong. And on matters of security, I've told people, you don't have to color it. Security has no color. It is about Ghana. So when you try to politicize security, you destroy the integrity of the country, and in fact, that alone is a threat to national security. Politicization of the security services. It's a very dangerous thing. Very particular, even politicization of security ideas. When we talk about security, let's talk about security. Straight to the point. Sometimes people wonder why, as a young politician, or as a new politician, when I'm talking about security, I look so technocratic. I look so professional. I should be looking political. I say, no. On matters of security, I don't have to look political. I'll say the way it is and make recommendations as to what can make all of us feel safe in this country. My brother, the dotted incidents that you've read, that is not even the problem. The fear of crime is actually what will eat us up. You see what happened to you yesterday? All of a sudden, you are walking around and you are so afraid. But nobody...
I didn't even realize my apprehension.
Yes.
It's when it happened, and then I got back in the car, then it hit me.
Great.
I am actually anxious now when I see people on.
So, but for me, I think
what happened to you?
Oh, so...
Can you recap that?
Just right down, this road towards Atenka, the traffic light there. I stopped to get a bite from an eatery there, and I was getting back into my vehicle to drive off, and I noticed these two people heading towards me in motorbikes. Now, in my mind, I mean, ordinarily, that wouldn't really be a problem, but for some reason, I felt they were heading towards me. They sped past, but it's only when, I froze for a moment. It's only when I got back into my car that I realized why was I so bothered anyway? And then it hit me. Oh, you've been reading all these stories of people who are getting gunned down from Pig Farm to the CID headquarters area to Afrikiko to the recent one. And I guess it's playing in your mind. And it hit me. I'm anxious. I'm apprehensive. That's basically what I was saying.
Yes. So as I was saying, if you find a young police officer, number 58449, General Constable Emmanuel Say, left home in the morning and went to office very agile, was detailed on duty. He sat in a supposed bullion van, that is not a bullion van, and moved out on duty. And after a few minutes, you see that his brain has been blown off. And he's called the late Emmanuel Say. You mention his number, he will not respond again. He's dead. Then the question is, if the protector can die like this, what will the protected do? If policemen can go through this, how confident are the civilians who are dependent on police to protect them? The Constitution mandates government to equip and maintain the Ghana Police Service. Are they well equipped? Are they well maintained? That aspect of the law is supposed to provide security for the police officer. The police officer is supposed to be in a bullion van to escort monies that are being carted from one point to the other. Was that a bullion van? Didn't we know it wasn't a standard bullion van? 2016 it happened, 2017 it's happened, 2019, 2018, 2021 is happening live. Why are we sleeping?
Are we really sleeping? I mean, the Bank of Ghana has over the years actually made mention of certain things that ought to be done, the banks ought to do. Unfortunately, I guess it's whipping the banks into line and ensuring that they are complying. Because like you said, these bullion vans are nothing bullion.
No.
We see, yesterday I was sharing, this bit about a video I saw, Collins and Lanchene. I guess it has come into the picture because of what happened. This was a proper bullion vehicle, and it shows you, it's outside of this country, it shows you how the vehicle was attacked. The robbers started shooting the vehicle and all of that, but they couldn't penetrate.
No, they couldn't.
Because it was an armored vehicle and 2 lives were saved.
You see, so we are looking at what an armored fortified vehicle is that we call a bullion van, which we don't have. And all of us have played to the gallery, oh, nothing will happen. It happens and we will go and perform all these traditional things and then go back to sleep. Can you imagine that the Bank of Ghana came out with a directive that banks should try to phase out these bullion vans, right? These makeshift vehicles that we call bullion vans, should try to phase them out by 2023 July, that policemen should continue to die up to 2023? That is absolutely unacceptable. And I saw the IGP respond quickly that no, by the end of this month, by the end of June 2021, if it is not done, he's withdrawing his men. And I made a statement I saw in on some media platforms, a misrepresentation of that fact. What I'm saying is that the IGP's directive cannot stand. You know why? It is not possible for them to procure bullion vans in 2 weeks.
And that is a matter that came up, because yes. 2 weeks is not practical. And even look at the cost.
Listen, it's not
ARB
practical.
Apex, in one of today's papers was talking about, and I'm thinking it's something over $30 million or so. So it's not something you can cough up.
What hurt me most was the fact that when we talk about minimum capital for banks, right? When we're doing the banking sector reform, it took a year for banks to raise the minimum capital to qualify. And when it comes to the life of a police officer, the Bank of Ghana is saying that it should take 3 years. The 3 years was too much for me to bear. And in fact, the 2 weeks from the IGP looks like a laughing matter. Because no, it's not possible. The IGP intended well. But the reality is that I've challenged people. Let's wait up to December 2021. I'm not talking about end of June. December 2021, go to town and see whether you have the kind of bullion vans that we are all praying for in the country. Right now, as we speak, the Bank of Ghana might sublet some of their bullion vans to support operations. But I'm telling you, after 2 or 3 weeks, you will still see these makeshift vehicles in town doing the same thing. Putting police at risk at all times.
All right. And that's something else I was going to throw at you. So your initial reaction to this, and again, is it practical what Mr. IGP is saying currently? We know of the Bank of Ghana and at least the small fleet they have. Looking at our number of banks and everything, it's obviously not going to suffice, even for ARB Apex. What's your take?
Well, before I come to that, let me also commend my senior brother. In fact, he's someone that I have a great deal of respect for when it comes to national discourse in terms of security. Before then, let me also extend my deepest condolences to the bereaved family of the late Police Constable Emmanuel Osei, the late Efuabedu, of blessed memory, that God should protect their soul. It's very pathetic, especially when you die on the line of duty. This is something that I think now that a directive has been given to CID to investigate the matter, I would want to add my voice that CID must expedite action on this very issue because we want to know how best to manage crime in this country. It's not about procuring armor-plated bullion van that will solve or reduce incidents of robbery.
It's not about that.
It's not about that. There is more to that.
Okay.
There's more to that. And I think we need to disperse that notion
that
once they are done with procurement of armored bullion van, then police are safe. Especially when they are providing escort.
I don't think people are saying that is the panacea, the entire solution.
That's what I'm saying.
It is a major part of the
because people are advancing that argument that they should provide. Of course, it's part of strategy to curb the menace, but not the panacea, as we are all saying.
Right.
Because I know that police, as an institution, is being governed by rules of engagement. If you look at Police Act 315 of 1970, and also 350 of 1970, I think they also have 7 instructions. That's CI Police, that's CI 76, yes, which dictates what they should do and what they should not do. They also have their standard operating procedures. Yes. As we speak, and from where I sit, Ghana Police Service, which is the lead agency when it comes to internal security management, needs to, 1, reorient the personnel within the unit.
So now we're talking of the security architecture itself.
Of course, and I personally, I believe in the security architecture of this country. Ghana is not close to a failed state.
Right.
We are not close to a state of insecurity because, Ben, if you want to talk about characteristics of state of insecurity, we are not close to.
So how would you describe where we find ourselves now? In the space of a week,
yes,
we've had 3-4 attacks plus.
Yes.
In places that, I mean, interestingly, all of these routes, Peg Farm, the Owusu area, the CID headquarters area, Afrikiko, this Jamestown, these are routes that I use often. I don't recall the last time I heard that such incidents, especially maybe not Jamestown, but the others, such incidents happened. And I'm wondering what is going on. And these are sentiments that have been shared by many a Ghanaian, that daylight robbery of this nature. How do you describe that?
Well, you see, to the best of my knowledge, I think the media has also shown keen interest of reporting such incidents, especially in this time. Unlike the past, I mean, regime, my senior brother has admonished that we should not politicize security matters. But I think police always deals with statistics, and sometimes they compare a number of cases. Honestly speaking, even if you want to compare that 2020, the first quarter in terms of robbery incidents, and compared to 2020, I think.
Do you mean 2016 or 2020?
No, I'm comparing last year and this year.
Okay.
Yes, there has been some level of reduction, in terms of incidences. So that's why I'm saying that police has their strategy, and once your strategy is breached, of course, you need to go back to the drawing board. You need to re-strategize. You need to regroup and come out with a nice, more holistic approach to deal with the issue. I believe that
So let's do this. I'm hoping we can be more, focused on the bite-sized bits of the conversation. So how would you describe the current state, what we are facing? You say it's not insecurity. How would you describe it?
What I'm saying is, if you look at the crime index, of course, Ghana crime index as we speak is 48.52 points, if my memory serves me right, and it tells you that. In terms of crime, we are still at the moderate level, yes, unlike other countries who are above 50 percentage points, meaning that ours is manageable, meaning that our security agencies are still on top of these issues.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying that we are not in state of insecurity.
Okay.
Yes. But the deadline that Bank of Ghana gave, I agree with my brother. That is too long. Because when you give a deadline of 2023, doesn't mean that we should wait and look on where people are being maimed, people are being killed,
okay, so
police officers
that is pretty
have
long.
been sacrificed.
How about the deadline of the IGP?
It's also too short. It's not practicable. Even if you want to talk about, budgetary allocation, procurement issue, it's not easy. No. So, at least, but 6 months for me would be more befitting.
Okay. Let me come to Lanchene Toobu. Right. You have vast experience, a quarter of a century as a police officer. Some have said, I was listening to Adam Bona speaking to my colleague Evans Mensah yesterday, and one of the matters that came to the fore, a police constable with very finite, limited experience being put in such a situation in a bullion van. Some feel that was not the right thing to do. What's your take?
Thank you very much. You see, when you are a police officer, after training, when you graduate, you are a professional police officer. And in fact, these escort duties are actually for the young ones. But you ought to take instructions from your commander. I believe that it's just command failure over the years. The law is clear. If you look at the service instructions, it's clear that if somebody comes to call you to do escort duty, and the vehicle that the person comes along with is not a bullion vehicle, please insist on getting a bullion vehicle. Insist on the right vehicle to be brought. Don't risk your life. But we've glossed over this for years. It is just because police officers are dying. That is why it's coming up for discussion. Or else the nature of Ghana, nobody will say anything about it. You will see that it is wrong, but when you go and say it, somebody will say, oh, you want to destroy my business. We know this is not a bullion van, but we've been doing business for days. In some jurisdictions, the law must be enforced to the full. A bullion van has a specific definition. It has specifications. If it's a B4, it's a B6, whatever it is, if it doesn't qualify by international standards, you cannot use it. But, let me tell you something. He's saying that it's not about what has happened, that there is more beyond that. Violent crime is surging in the country because in 2016, President Nadu himself, when he was campaigning, he said, one of the biggest challenges we have as a country is youth unemployment. A lot of young people are out of school. They don't have any hope in life. They don't know what to do. And one of the greatest things that has actually influenced the youth in this country is galamsey. Do you know galamsey is a violent business? If you go to the galamsey site and see the kind of things they do, people are armed because somebody can come and seize your pit, can seize your concession, and drive you away by force. So a lot of them go in there, they are on drugs. A lot of them go in there, they are armed. And after 6 months in galamsey, your son, your daughter is coming home definitely a very different person. So when you get that point, and the issue of unemployment, my brother, yesterday I was on one platform and I was saying that it is not even the unemployment that is a challenge. It is a wrong employment that is annoying. I completed the same school with you. I have E in mathematics, F in English. Okay? You have B in mathematics and A in English. We are all in the village, or both of us are in the village. 3 months you got lost and you came back. You met me and I hold a gota with a mobile phone and a pistol by my side. And I said, hey, my brother, what has happened? With your F and your E? You say, yeah, I'm now a national security operative. Oh, really? You are now a national security operative. When did they advertise that? Where were you recruited? Where were you trained? I didn't hear of any passing out. And you are a national security operative? And these are the kind of people that reflect what we call national security. It's a disgrace. And I've always said it openly.
Some have said that we need the best brains for national security, which is what other countries do.
Listen, if you need the best security, you put the best in there. Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore, he said, if you need your country to progress to the best level, put your best brains in there and let them do that job honestly.
So according to you, we are not doing that?
No, look, according to me, I'm saying it as a fact, we have taken security for granted. It become a dumping ground. People that can get jobs because of competence, they can become police officers.
But that brings into, the picture, the politicization of some of these things. Because it's not just, you wouldn't single out this particular era.
No.
Before this era, it appears it's a trend that we're following.
In fact, it is a trend that is unfortunately graduating to bizarre levels. Right? It's a trend from 1992 when we started this Fourth Republic. It's a trend that is graduating, but we are getting into bizarre levels. And we've got to stop it and speak out, let people understand that, listen, this is not the way to go. Because without security, we cannot have development. And when our security is so porous that the officers themselves are not of the quality that we need, when they go out there, their performance will disgrace us. And I've always told people, listen, if you are not supposed to wear the police uniform, and you go in there because of protocol, you are wearing it. One, either you die in the job, or you kill people recklessly. Because policing is a calling.
We don't know about the situation of Emmanuel or Mr. Osei, but do you feel, what would you attribute to what happened to him? Do you feel he was ill-prepared, so to speak? He was barely a year in the service, and then he was given this task. Some have said he was ill-prepared. Is that your take?
Emmanuel is just a victim of circumstance. Emmanuel is a victim of circumstance because he came and met his seniors, and that was what they were doing. And I'm sure if Emmanuel, with his experience, a little experience and education, reads the service instruction and tells his commander, but this is not a bullion van. The commander will tell you, listen, as we say in police, you can't change anything here. Are you the one who's coming to change it? When you came, you met your seniors. Chief inspector have done this for 20 years. Right. Sergeants have done it. You have just come. Please shut up. Go sit in that car and move. If not, I'll charge you. You only salute and say, yes, sir, and you go and sit and move and go and you won't come back.
Very quickly. I know Collins wants to react. I've seen you. Very quickly, do you feel we failed him, the state, the people of Ghana? Do you feel we failed Emmanuel Osei?
All of us.
In terms of protection and everything, because I saw, right before we came on air, I saw your guard, your security guard, a police officer.
Yes.
And I saw his protective gear.
Exactly.
Body, bulletproofing.
Yes.
And I spoke to him. Is that, body armor? Is that a bulletproof vest? And he said yes. I don't know whether he has a helmet, bulletproof helmet to go with it, because then maybe Emmanuel Osei could have avoided the bullet that shattered his skull and, all of that.
Who supervised him? Who supervised him? Before you dispatch young people to duty, they need to be supervised. That is what command is there. If he's not properly dressed, ask him, where is your ballistic helmet? Please go get it. Where's your flak jacket? Please go get it. And when you dispatch with instructions, if the driver goes and he's doing something untoward, please call back the station. You are not a banker, right? You are not into cutting money. You are into escort. Your job is professional security. If you observe something untoward, please call the station and we'll respond. So you guide these young men and put them into the field for them to work for the image of the Ghana police to rise. Did we do anything like that? That is why in policing we have briefing and debriefing. What was a briefing given to young Emmanuel Osei before he left for duty? And normally when they close, what is the debriefing? The debriefing allows the commanders to learn what happened in the field within the day so that you guide yourself against tomorrow's briefing. Are we doing all these things? I think it's just a command failure.
Right. Your quick take on that matter.
Well, Bernard, to be honest with you...
The name is Benjamin, actually.
No, Benjamin, sorry. To be honest with you, we should depart from using issue of unemployment to justify crime in this country. It will be more dangerous and suicidal, even to our survivor as citizens, that someone has committed crime and the basis has been that the person is unemployed.
I don't think it is the basis, but if you just listen to, briefly, if you listen to Professor Inning, Dr. Orbin, among others who have spoken, they are saying that once there is unemployment, these are some of the ripple effects. Ghana is not a microcosm. We have so many other examples across different countries across the world. Where there are so rising rates of unemployment.
There are so many factors.
Also create some.
There are so many factors which comes to play. To be honest with you, when we talk about security, by its nature, it's invisible. Sometimes we look at the physical aspect that, let's say, when I was coming, I saw a police officer. That is the physical aspect, being armed fully to teeth. That doesn't mean that we are not doing a lot as a state. As we speak, we are still installing security cameras all over the place, especially at the vantage places, to be able to track a commission of crime that is ongoing. So we are doing something. Let me put it on record. Right. As a state, we are doing something. Right. However, after the president came into office, the president realized that we have so much issues with our security. We have so many challenges, and therefore, how are we going to tackle it? In fact, we were looking even at the numbers, because we realized that police were understaffing. So we decided to recruit more personnel. No, I'm talking about the police people ratio. No, I'm coming.
Okay, so
no, that was
according to the UN, it's 1 to 500.
One police to 500 civilians. Yes.
The last I checked in Ghana for 30 million, it's 1 to 1,200. That was what? 1 to 1,200 as of 30 million.
No. 1 is to 800. 800. Yeah.
Okay, so it's been reduced.
Yes. All right. Yes. That's what I'm saying. That so we were able to recruit even at a go 4,000. We're calling them batches into personnel into the police service, and it tells you that the president is poised to make sure that we bridge the gap. Then again, the issue of logistical support to the service, of course, is on record that the current administration has procured more even vehicles. Because when we came into office, the serviceable vehicles that police were using was 492. Yes. But as we speak, it's more than 1,000. Apart from our intention to procure 3 helicopters for Ghana Police Service, I don't want to talk about the immigration, the Ghana Armed Forces, because they are all being provided with some logistical support, which for me is very good strategy, because their morale must be boosted. And I can tell you that the issue of unemployment, the current administration has tackled it, because under NDC, unemployment was declared as a national security threat. So when we came into office, we came out...
rampant unemployment always is a national security.
Well, that was the first...
Always is a
I don't know whether they have come out with a new research work on that, but to the best of my knowledge, under former President John Dramani Mahama, between 2015 and 2016, it came out based on a lot of research work that unemployment is now a national security threat.
Collins, just
so we created. Listen, because we are tackling it. That's the reason why even within this shortest period, we've been able to create millions of jobs for our theming unemployed youth. So we are not reneging on our promise. We're talking about even the one district, one factory, as we speak, is still in force, and we are giving out direct and indirect jobs to the young people of this country.
Outside factors, apart from that, factors that are resulting in the surge in crime that we are seeing, not necessarily unemployment. I just want the point to be clear.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about other matters. I mean, we've spoken about CCTV, installations,
yes,
and how they can help,
yes,
in policing and capturing criminals. We've spoken about not just bullion vehicles, because those are armored cars, but how about armored gear for the police officials themselves, among others. What is your quick take on that? Are we doing enough in terms of protecting the police corps, the body itself, before we even talk about about bullion vehicles? Because that is going to be another stretch of the conversation.
Benjamin, can you give me the police force itself? Let me put a smile on your face before you go. Just 30 seconds. A police officer sent me a message that CCTV. Dr. Baumia promised the police that by a very shortest possible time, he was going to install CCTVs in all police stations across the country. That was in 2018. And you know what the policeman said? He said the CC has come. We are still waiting for the TV.
No.
Can you imagine?
It's not true. It's not true. At least.
Which one is not true?
When you say it's not true,
no,
are you saying that we have them in
Of course. And it's ongoing. The Alpha project is still ongoing.
Police stations.
Police station?
I'm talking about the statement made by His Excellency, the Vice President.
Oh.
When
that this is an ongoing project that, if you look at our ports, airports, principal roads, clearly you could see that the cameras are there.
I won't belabor the point.
So this is an ongoing project.
You go ahead.
This is an ongoing project. Yeah, Benjamin, you were saying that my take on what?
So I was asking about, protective gear for, among other things. So we are talking about other solutions, apart from the bullion van thing, how we are protecting our police officers, CCTV cameras, and all of that, briefly on that.
Well, I think when it comes to providing logistical support to the service, cannot be left to government alone. And all over the world, combating crime is a shared responsibility. We need a concerted and more collective effort to prosecute this agenda. So I would want to appeal to the public that without the public assistance, to be honest with you, police alone cannot even manage crime in this country. So we, the public, must assist them. The community must assist them, even in terms of provision of this protected gear. I believe that we need to resource them. We should support the government to do that. Okay. Elsewhere, in other jurisdictions, that is what they are doing.
Can we have an agreement here that any police officer in a bullion vehicle should have full protective gear? Bulletproofing,
yes.
Bulletproof helmet,
vest, yes.
and all of that. Is that an agreement we all
helmet,
arriving at here?
Yes.
No, for him,
so Collins, yes?
For him, he can endorse that because even the Vice President made it clear that...
Why are you on Vice President?
I'm quoting him. He said no police officer will go out there again without a ballistic helmet and without a flak jacket. He said that. Today we still see it happening.
So in other words, yes, you agree.
It's a necessity.
Okay.
It's a necessity.
Let me come to you now. Following all these things that have happened in recent times, some have even suggested that the IGP should, before we move on to other matters, should proceed on retirement. If he can't do the job, that he should shove off. I've heard the likes of Adam Bona, talk about the security matters and that things are not boding well. What is your take on that?
Probably, let me just start first before my brother comes in.
Yes, it was actually
His Excellency the President appoints. Okay? That position is an appointed position. And that position is supposed to work to enhance the president's credibility in the area of security. So if President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo looks at the security situation in the country and believes that the Inspector General of Police, the briefing that he's been getting from him and the observation that he's made himself and other information he's gathered from other security agencies points to the fact that there's some level of collaboration and the IGP is doing so well, he will allow him to continue. He appointed him. And if the president thinks that no, let me bring some fresh blood.
That doesn't bar the IGP from retiring, which is the call.
Look, the IGP had hit the age of 60. The president gave him an extension.
Yes.
So he's working at the beck and call of the president. If the president decides this morning that, Mr. IGP, thank you very much for the few months that we spent together. I want to get some fresh blood to come and re-energize the system. And the IGP will be very appreciative. Look, if you are appointed IGP for even 1 week, it is an honor. If you are asked to go home, it shouldn't be anything of worry.
And we've seen some people come and go very quickly.
Oh, yes, come and go very quickly. So it is the prerogative of the president. Okay. I wouldn't go say, please fire the IGP. I will go say, President, fix the country and fix the security. If the president thinks that fixing the country and fixing the security, it has to be a new IGP, so be it. But it is not with me for me to go and be calling for a change in IGP.
Collins, what do you think? Briefly, very briefly.
Well, I think those calling on the said is too premature to start with, because from where I sit, I think he's doing his best to enhance public safety. He needs our support. Let the system also support him. He's an individual. But there's this commission. I think they should leave that to the needed expectation. Ghana National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. Right. Yes, the executive director, the secretary there, must be up and doing. They need to sensitize the public in terms of
But there have been so many initiatives. There have even been those amnesties granted people who supposedly had illicit arms to come give them so that they wouldn't face the wrath of the law. All of that has happened.
They should join the crusade in terms of sensitization of even when it comes to possession of illicit firearms.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's take a look at how we can make our police befitting of our status as a country. What ought we to be looking at in terms of security architecture?
Thank you very much. We used to call it the Ghana Police Force, and somewhere 74, 75, we transited into the Ghana Police Service. That change in nomenclature didn't come with accompanying transformation, right? So we've stayed in it through military regimes up to 1992 when we started the Fourth Republic. And all the years that we've done all these things, there is some level of militarization in the brain of the police officer. We've got into democracy, 28 years and counting. We talk about democratic policing. You know what? When I think about police reform, in fact, the security sector reform, I bow my head and I salute the outgone IGP, Mr. David Asante-Apitu. He came to office and said, look, let's be honest. It is not about the IGP. It's about the fact that the system is old. We need to reform it. Yes. We need to reform the system. And he brought, I was just the executive secretary, a small boy.
That's one of his former bosses. Yes. He actually served an
Exactly. So he brought what we call the police transformation agenda. The few questions that we're asking, just go to town and ask, is crime going down? The people say no. Are you happy with the police? The people say no. Do the police respond in time when you call on them? The people say, do you trust the police? The people say no. And if all these answers are no, go back to the police. Are you happy yourself as a police officer? You say no. Is your welfare the best that you think of? You say no. If all these answers are no, the simple solution is that we need reforms. So he introduced what we call the police transformation agenda. People didn't get it. It was a long-time project that was supposed to transform the Ghana Police Service into a democratically nurtured police organization capable of carrying this country to another level. But we didn't get it. We didn't get that support. Today, we are back to zero. And all these things that are happening, my brother, motorbikes-related crimes. There was something we introduced we call rovers. We observed that we need to use motorbikes to respond to motorbike. And the police motorbike should be more robust. And these people, if you have two people sitting on a police motorbike, fully dressed with their ballistic helmet and flak jacket, they can chase these people. As they fire, they will fire back. They can chase and fire. And at the end of the day, you can ride your motorbike and go and commit crime. Because of CCTVs in the system and connected to the emergency command center, look, we will generate an information that gradually you find about 10 sets of different motorbikes from the police getting into a particular zone, and wherever you pass, you will meet them, and you can't escape. Right. And that is gradually where we're going. I think that there is still hope for the future.
All right. I think now, from the picture that is being painted, it appears these robbers even outgun the police. They seem to have more, pump-action guns and all of that. But I want us to wrap up on this point. I want us to wrap quickly on this point. Both of you, I'll take your take. We have the Deputy AG, who recently, Alfred Tiayabua, who recently has suggested, and it ties into the conversation because he is saying that people charged and convicted of heinous crimes when it comes to the death penalty, we should use it so that it serves as some sort of deterrent. Over the years, we've seen Amnesty International even petitioning countries, our presidents to let go of the death penalty. Where do you stand on that conversation? Collins, I'll take your thoughts as well, Lanchene, and then we shall wrap the conversation.
Well, I think it is very debatable because it used to be part of criminal justice system. Mm-hmm. We expunged it. So if
has it been expunged? It's just that we've not applied it in a while, but it's still there.
We are not applying it. It appears we've not been able to rekindle it for some time now. So. But this is a good call. Let's have conversation on that. Let's discuss and see how best to sanitize the system. Because to be honest with you, if you visit our respective prisons, and as we speak, prison population is over 13,000, with 11,000 being convicts and more than 1,500 are on remand. It's so appalling. It's something that we need to come on.
For a few today who through the Justice for All program are being...
Of course, that was instituted in 2007 with the sole aim of decongesting prisons. I think it's something that we should take it up.
Okay.
And also to insist that there are certain systems Even if you look at the Constitution, clearly a parallel system must be established. If
you read we should take a look at it. We should debate the matter.
Sure.
Lanchene, briefly on this matter. Should we, start exercising this to prevent heinous crimes like the murder? That is what, Tia Boy is speaking of.
Thank you very much. I hope he will be confirmed. The incoming Deputy Attorney General expressed his position. It's all about law. He believes that, look, let's execute them if they're supposed to be executed. That is the position. Of course, he will have problems with transparency, or what is the Transparency International, okay? He's going to have a problem with the international bodies that are responsible for ensuring that corporal punishment is done away with in our statute books. But the problem is that, prisons are supposed, many jurisdictions change the name prison to corrections. People in there are supposed to be corrected.
Right.
But the Ghana Prison Service will tell you, we don't correct people in there. We don't have the capacity to correct. We have the zeal, we have the desire, we have the competence, but we don't have the support to be able to correct people. So people get in there and they come out worse off. Okay? So you have somebody who has stolen the fowl, he gets in there, before he comes back, society rejects him, and he graduates into an armed robber. So the recycled prisoners is also another thing that we should watch carefully. But as to whether we should continue to execute those who are charged with murder and convicted, sentenced to death, whether we should execute them is a presidential prerogative. If he signs, it will be done. But I think that the last time we got this was somewhere in 92 or something. We've never gotten anybody executed again. But can we ensure that our prisons are correctional centers and not pollutants? Go in there and get polluted and come out and become a danger to society. That is dangerous.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Peter Lanchene Toobu, you just heard him there. Retired police officer, MP for Wa West. He is a member of the Committee on Defense and the Interior. We also heard from Collins Owusu Amankwa, former MP for Manchia North and former Vice Chairperson of the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining the conversation. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we're talking about cleaning Ghana. There is much more right after this. Do stay.